Want to know how to remove reflections in glass and water and make colors really pop? Stick around. Today we're going to talk about a circular polarizer, what it does, how to use it, and what benefit you'll get out of it with your cell phone. Circular polarizer is like any other filter that goes on your camera, but it has a moving piece. The ring around the outside actually moves, and what that does is that varies the effect of the filter, and depending on which way the light is coming in from, it will cut reflections and glare off of items. But how do you get something this large on a cell phone case? Well, that's what we're here to talk about. To get a circular polarizing filter, or any filter for that matter, on your cell phone, you need an adapter. You need some way to get it on. I have a case made by Moment on this camera here, or this phone, and it's got a little adapter socket here to put these filters on and lenses. And that's what it looks like. And you take the lenses, this is a Moment lens, and you line it up, and you just twist it a quarter turn, and now it's perfectly centered in front of your camera lens. So what they've done is, for filters, they've got a couple of options. One is this 37mm adapter. So if you have any really small lenses, you can put them on. They would just screw right in here. Or if you have one of their lenses, they have an adapter for that. But to get a standard 62mm lens on your cell phone, you need a step-up ring from 37 to 62mm. So all you do, screw that on, and now you can mount the 62mm circular polarizer, or whatever lens you're putting on there. In this case, we're using a circular polarizer. Now you have the setup so you can get photos with a filter. And like I said, they do have ones for their lenses. So here is the 62mm filter set. Let's see if you can get a shot of that. And it comes with an adapter ring, a housing for, or rubber grommet to adapt the housing to the anamorphic lens, and then two round ones for the other lenses. So I'll show you how this works. Here is a 58mm telephoto lens, and we'll just figure out which one fits it. Not that one, must be this guy. Yeah, it feels like it. So you take the adapter ring and you get this little grommet, and you can see that there's a ridge right here. That's going to go into this piece that sticks out from the bottom. And if you can actually pop it in there, it just kind of sets in there like that. Then your lens, when you got the lens mounted on your camera, then you just take this and just slide it over the edge like so. And then you can mount a standard 62mm filter on that particular Moment lens. So those are two ways right there that you can get circular polarizer on your camera phone. A circular polarizer does two things. Number one is it cuts any kind of glare and reflection off of metallic or shiny surfaces. Not just the ones you immediately think of, you know, water and glass, but also it takes it off of like leaves. If you're looking at a landscape and you have the polarizer on your camera, you turn it till the reflections go away. Well, what you'll notice is the reflections on the leaves of trees will actually fade away and leave you with a nice green leaf on your tree. Same thing with a sky. You don't realize that there's a reflection or a glare on the sky. So when you turn the ring, you'll actually see the effects of what's happening in the sky, and you'll see the blue get much darker and deeper blue, and the clouds will get much, really bright white and kind of pop off the sky. So it's a really good technique for making your images just pop. Highly recommend it. So here's an example of using a circular polarizer. Looking at a car at the windshield, and as you turn the polarizer, you see the glass go from a reflection of the sky to transparent, where you can actually see the driver's seat inside the car. That's just a real good example of a polarizer and what it can do to reflections. Are there any downsides to using a circular polarizer? There's two. One is, like anything else, you're putting a piece of glass in front of your very expensive lens. If you don't choose it wisely, you may degrade the effect of that very expensive lens. So make sure you use a high quality filter, and this is not just circular polarizers, this is any filter. The other thing is, if you use a ultra wide lens, like say Nikon's 14 to 30 for the Z mounts, that is so wide that if you put a polarizer on it, an 82 millimeter circular polarizer, and you're at 14 millimeter and you're looking at this really big scenic vista, when you turn that, it's going to be different effects throughout the image. So you may end up with nice dark reflection or nice dark sky on either side and washed out in the middle, or vice versa. So sometimes it's best not to use a circular polarizer with an ultra wide lens. But with things like a 24, it's not that big a deal. But when you start getting past 20, it becomes a problem. A circular polarizer is a great addition to any camera bag, and you'll find its use for everything from scenics to portraits to street photography. It's indispensable. I highly recommend adding one to your kit. If you like this video, give it a thumbs up and consider subscribing to the channel and clicking the notification button so you'll be notified whenever we release new content. Thanks.